Right. So what we got going on here? No, that's not what I want to see. Very much. Okay, there we go. That looks good. Right. The only thing is this is not being shared. Give me a second, guys. There we go. That looks good. All right. Oh, hello. All right. So we've been looking at incident response. You've been hacked. What do you do? So we're looking at this. Network, operating system, and security log files. So log file data is a critical source for investigating security incidents. We set up logs on one of our labs previously. So the log format is different for each type of log you want. So they're talking about log formats. So you could have it in a text file, you could have it in a doc file, whatever the logger uses to log the information. You must also consider the range of sources for log files, know how to determine what type of log file will best support any given investigation scenario. So system and security logs. One source of security information is the event log from each network server or client system, such as Microsoft Windows, Apple Mac OS, and Linux keep a variety of logs. So we did Windows and Linux. We didn't do Mac because Mac OS is a Linux based operating system. So if you learn Linux, you have a pretty good jump on Macs, but at the same time, it's really not that big of a push in the business industry, so they don't really push it in the learning aspect. It's more Windows and Linux, and honestly, Linux is barely in there. So Windows is the winner in business. It boggles my mind. So they keep a variety of logs to record events as users and software interact with the system. The format of logs varies depending on the system. Information contained within the logs also varies by system, and in many cases, the type of information that is captured can be configured. So when events are generated, they are placed into log categories. These categories describe the general nature of the events or what areas of the OS they affect. The 5 main categories of window event logs are application events generated by applications and services, such as when a service cannot start. Security audit events, such as a failed logon or access to a file being denied. System events generated by the operating system and its services, such as storage, volume, health checks. Setup events generated during the installation of Windows. Forwarded events that are sent to the local log from other hosts. Network logs. Network logs are generated by appliances such as routers, firewalls, switches, and access points. Log files will record the operation status of the appliance itself, the system log for the appliance, plus traffic and access logs recording network behavior, such as the host trying to use a port that is blocked by the firewall, or an endpoint trying to use multiple MAC addresses when connected to a switch, which we can see these also on Wireshark, not just the network. So if you have your Wireshark running, you can capture most of that stuff. Authentication logs. Authentication attempts for each host are likely to be written to the security log. You might also need to inspect logs from the servers, authorizing logons such as Radius and TechX, plus servers or Windows Active Directory servers. A vulnerability scan report is another important source. Sorry guys, super dehydrated today, as usual. When determining how an attack might have been made, the scan engine might log or alert when a scan report is made. Contains vulnerabilities. The report can be analyzed to identify vulnerabilities that have not been patched or configuration weaknesses that have not been remediated. These can be correlated to recently developed exploits. So we're looking at a log right now on Windows Defender. Yeah, the Windows Defender logs are pretty thorough and in-depth. Like you can see it right here, a summary, malware ID, category, yeah, so it's a Trojan. And I've used those before as well. I would say they're more in-depth log than the Linux ones. I haven't seen Linux quite as in-depth. At least not yet. So yeah, let's see. Priority, date and time, device ID, facility, what's that? Timestamp, label, faces, addresses. Okay. Application log files. An application log file is simply one that is managed by the application rather than the OS. The application may use event viewer or syslog to write event data using a standard format, or it might write log files to its own application directories in whatever format the developer has selected. DNS event logs. A DNS server may log an event each time it handles a request to convert between a domain name and an IP address. DNS event logs can hold a variety of information that may supply useful security intelligence, such as the types of queries a host has made to DNS, domain name server, hosts that are in communication with suspicious IP addresses, ranges, or domains, statistical anomalies such as spikes or consistently large numbers of DNS failures, which may point to computers that are infected with malware, misconfigured, or running obsolete or faulty applications. Web HTTP access logs. Web servers are typically configured to log HTTP traffic that encounters an error or traffic that matches some predefined rule set. Most web servers use the common log format or W3C extended log file format to record the relevant information. The status code of a response can reveal quite a bit about both the request and the server's behavior. Codes in the 400 range indicate client-based errors, while codes in the 500 range indicate server-based errors. For example, repeated 403 forbidden responses may indicate that the server is rejecting a client's attempt to access resources that are not authorized to. A 502 bad gateway response could indicate that communication between the target server and its upstream server are being blocked, or that the upstream server is down. In addition to status code, some web server software also logs HTTP header information for both requests and responses. This can provide you with a better picture of the makeup of each request or response, such as cookie information, meme types. I don't want to say meme. That sounds... Another header field or note is the user agent field, which identifies the type of application making the request. In most cases, this is the version of the browser the client is using to access the site, as well as the client's operating system. However, this can be misleading, as even a browser like Microsoft Edge includes versions of Google Chrome and Safari in its user agent string. Therefore, the user agent field may not be a reliable indicator of the client's environment. VoIP and call managers in session initiation protocol traffic. Many VoIP systems use the session initiation protocol to identify endpoints and set up calls. The call content is transferred using a separate protocol, typically the real-time transfer protocol. VoIP protocols are vulnerable to most of the same vulnerabilities and exploits as web communications. Both SIP and RTP should use secure protocol forms where endpoints are authenticated and communication is protected by transport layer security. Call manager is a gateway that connects endpoints within the local network and over the internet. The call manager is also likely to implement a media gateway to connect VoIP calls to cell phone and landline telephone networks. SIP produces similar logs to SMTP, typically in the common log format. A SIP log will identify the endpoints involved in a call request, plus the type of connection, voice only, or voice with video, for instance, and status messaging. When handling requests, the call manager and any other intermediate servers add their IP address in a via header, similar to per hop SMTP headers. Inspecting the logs might reveal evidence of a man in the middle attack where an unauthorized proxy is intercepting traffic. VoIP systems connected to telephone networks are also targets for toll fraud. The call manager's access log can be audited for suspicious connections. Dump file. System memory contains volatile data. A system memory dump creates an image file that can be analyzed to identify the processes that are running. Contents of temporary file systems, registry data, network connections, cryptographic keys, and more. It can also be a means of accessing data that is encrypted when stored on a mass storage device. Another big thing is when they're talking about system memory dump, if you turn off the device, good luck trying to get that, because everything that's stored on the RAM gets wiped. And sometimes your hard drive can get reconfigured. So then you lose all that evidence. So if you find that something's been hacked, you leave it in the current state it's in as much as possible, if you can. All right, metadata. Metadata is the properties of data as it is created by an application, stored on media, or transmitted over a network. A number of metadata sources are likely to be useful when investigating incidents because they can establish timeline questions such as when and where, as well as containing other types of evidence. File metadata is stored as attributes. The file system tracks when a file was created, accessed, and modified. File might be assigned a security attribute, such as marking it as read-only or as a hidden or system file. The ACL attached, so access control list attached to a file showing its permissions represents another type of attribute. Finally, the file must have extended attributes recording an author, copyright information, or tags. For indexing, searching in Linux, the is command can be used to report file system metadata. Web. When a client requests a resource from a web server, the server returns the resource plus headers setting or describing its properties. Also, the client can include headers in its request. One key use of headers is to transmit authorization information in the form of cookies. Everybody loves a cookie. They're thinking about getting rid of cookies. I don't know how that's going to happen, but they've been talking about it in the articles. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. Let's be real. Headers describing the type of data returned, text or binary, for instance, can also be of interest. Gosh, oh my gosh. So sorry, guys. I'm so tired this morning. Just not a morning person. Contents of headers can be inspected using the standard tools built into web browsers. Header information may also be logged by a web server. Email. An email's internet header contains address information for the recipient and sender, plus details of the servers handling transmission of the message between them. When an email is created, the mail user agent, MUA, creates an initial header and forwards the message to a mail delivery agent, MDA. The mail delivery agent should perform checks that the sender is authorized to issue messages from the domain. Assuming the email isn't being delivered locally at the same domain, that the mail delivery agent adds or amends its own header and transmits the message to a message transfer agent. The message transfer agent routes the message to the recipient, with the message passing via one or more additional message transfer agents, such as SMTP servers operated by ISPs or mail security gateways. Each MTA or message transfer agent adds information to the header. Headers aren't exposed to the user by most email applications, which is why they're usually not a factor in an average user's judgment. You can view and copy headers from a mail client via a message properties options source command. MTAO, message transfer agents, can add a lot of information in each received header, such as the results of spam checking. If you use a plain text editor to view the header, it can be difficult to identify where each part begins and ends. Fortunately, there are plenty of tools available to parse headers and display them in a more structured format. One example is the Message Analyzer tool, available as part of Microsoft Remote Connectivity Analyzer. This will lay out the hops that the message took more clearly and break out the headers added by each message transfer agent. Mobile phone metadata comprises call detail records of incoming, outgoing, and attempted calls and SMS text time, duration, and the opposite party's number. Ooh, I would like that right now because I got some spam callers who are annoying me like crazy. Metadata will also record data transfer volumes. The location history of the device can be tracked by the list of cell towers it has used to connect to the network. If you are investigating a suspected insider attack, metadata could prove a suspect's whereabouts. Furthermore, AI enabled analysis. Sorry. Or patient investigation can correlate the opposite party numbers to businesses and individuals through other public records. CDRs are generated and stored by the mobile operator. The retention period for CDRs is determined by national and state law, but it's typically around 18 months. CDRs are directly available for corporate-owned devices, where you can request them from the communication provider as the owner of the device. Metadata for personally owned devices would only normally be accessible by law enforcement agencies by subpoena with the consent of the account holder. An employment contract might require an employee to give this consent for bring your own device mobiles used within the workplace. Metadata such as current location and time is also added to media such as photo. Yeah, no, you got to be careful with this. This is what some of the Russian military members got in trouble for. They were taking pictures, and it showed that their geolocation in the photo, it's embedded in the photo, and the date and the time. And so they were like, well, yeah, Russian soldiers are in Ukraine right now. And I thought it was just really funny. But yeah, so whenever you take a picture, hashtag selfie, it does geolocation, it does date and time. So what you want to do is on your phone, look for the geolocation stuff and turn it off. That way it doesn't, actually say where you were, because it'll give you latitude and longitude, and then all you have to do is just Google Maps it, or just Google it if you want. But yeah, get you into a lot of trouble. So if you have kids, right, and they don't know what they're doing with their phones, make sure they turn off their geolocation too, because they're talking to some stranger danger on the internet, and they decide to send a picture because they're stupid, and yeah, geolocation's on. So now that creep gets a chance to figure out where they live, if they took it in the house, or where they hang out at. So crazy world we live in. So when these files are uploaded to social media sites, they can reveal more information than the uploader intended. That is so true. So yeah, you got that stuff on, turn it off. Turn it off. I don't want you to know where I'm at. Let me see, did I turn mine off? How bad am I? I thought I turned it off. All right. Network data sources. Network data is typically analyzed in detail at the level of individual frames or using summary statistics of traffic flow and protocol usage. Protocol analyzer output a seam System Information Event Manager will store details from sensors at different points on the network. Information captured from network packets can be aggregated and summarized to show overall protocol usage and endpoint activity. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's see. The contents of packets can also be recorded for analysis. Recording the full data of every packet, referred to as retrospective network analysis, RNA, is too costly for most organizations. Of course it is. Typically, packet contents are only retained when indicators from the traffic are correlated as an event. The System Information Event Manager software will provide the ability to pivot from the event or alert summary to the underlying packets. Detailed analysis of the packet contents can help to reveal the tools used in an attack. It's also possible to extract binary files such as potential malware for analysis. NetFlow IP Fix. A flow collector is a means of recording metadata and statistics about network traffic rather than recording each frame. Network traffic and flow data may come from a wide variety of sources or probes such as switches, routers, firewalls, web proxies, and so forth. Flow analysis tools can provide features such as highlighting of trends and patterns in traffic generated by particular application, hosts, and ports. Alerting based on detection of anomalies, flow analysis patterns, or custom triggers. Visualization tools that enable you to quickly create a map of network connections and interpret patterns of traffic and flow data. Identification of traffic patterns revealing rogue user behavior, malware in transit, tunneling, applications exceeding their allocated bandwidth, and so forth. Identification of attempts by malware to contact a handler or command and control channel. NetFlow is a Cisco-developed means of reporting network flow information to a structured database. NetFlow has been redeveloped as the IP Information Export, IPFix, IETF standard. A particular traffic flow can be defined by packets sharing the same characteristics referred to as keys, such as IP source and destination addresses and protocol type. A selection of keys is called a flow label, while traffic matching a flow label is called a flow record. You can use a variety of NetFlow monitoring tools to capture data for point-in-time analysis and to diagnose any security or operational issues that the network is experiencing. There are plenty of commercial NetFlow suites plus products offering similar functionality to NetFlow. The Silk Suite and NFDump, NFSen are examples of open source implementations. Another popular tool is Argus. This uses a different data format to NetFlow, but the client tools can read and translate NetFlow data. SFlow. SFlow, developed by HP and subsequently adopted as a web standard, uses sampling to measure traffic statistics at any layer of the OSI model for a wider range of protocol types than the IP-based NetFlow. SFlow can also capture the entire packet header for samples. Wowza. Bandwidth monitor. Bandwidth usage can be a key indicator of suspicious behavior. If you have reliable baselines for comparison, unexpected bandwidth consumption could be evidence of a data exfiltration attack. For instance, bandwidth usage can be reported by flow collectors, firewalls, and web security gateways are also likely to support bandwidth monitoring and alerting. Oh. They bring that one up a lot, like, hey, bandwidth could be an issue. Oh, now you give me points for reading stuff. True or false? The first responder is whoever first reports an incident to the CIRT. That sounds true. No? Oh, false. The first responder would be the member of the CIRT to handle the report. Okay. No, I did not. You need to correlate intrusion detection data with web server log files. What component must you deploy to collect IDS alerts in a system event? System Information Event Manager. I'm not sure on that one. You need to deploy a sensor to send network packet captures or intrusion detection alerts to the System Information Event Manager. Yeah, no, I didn't get that right at all. Which software tool is most appropriate for forwarding Windows event logs to a syslog compatible server? The Windows Event Viewer? NX-Log is designed as a multi-platform logging system. Yeah, no. A technician is seeing high volumes of 403 forbidden errors in a log. What type of network appliance or server is producing these logs? One that denies access. 403 forbidden is an HTTP status code, so most likely a web server. Other possibilities: web proxy or gateway. Yeah, no, I didn't get that right. What type of data sources would you look for evidence of a suspicious MTA in? In the packets. The message transfer agent is an SMTP server. You might inspect an SMTP log or the internet header metadata of an email message. Yeah. You are supporting a system information event management deployment at a customer's location. The customer wants to know whether flow records can be ingested. What type of data source is a flow record? Data source. It's a packet, isn't it? Flow records are generated by NetFlow or IP flow information export probes. A flow record is data that matches a flow label, which is a particular combination of keys, IP endpoints, and protocol port types. Yeah, no. Whole lot of nope today. Hey, look, I already got my knowledge gold for today. That's great. I'm probably going to do like 4 times that. Yeah, I'm going to be focusing mostly on Security Plus, and then looking at going into Certified Ethical Hacker towards the later in the day. Ooh. Wow. Wowza. All right, I'm going to just get up, walk around while this lab figures out what it wants to do with its life. Oh. Let's see. I'll just toss all this too. It's not trash. Oh, I need my keys. Did it work? Yay, it worked! Hooray! Okay. So, Assisted Lab, managing data sources for incident response. As part of the 501 supports incident response planning, centralized log files are being implemented on various network services and appliances on the network. You have been tasked with establishing a central storage location for log files on the LX1 CentOS Linux server. Next, you will configure the Kali and Vios devices to forward their log files to this central server. Such centralization will make searching for and responding to incidents much more efficient. It will also aid in log file archiving. You will have also been asked to confirm the location of dump files for the Linux and Windows servers. Finally, you'll configure a basic remote monitoring solution for the DC1 virtual machine by using the MS1 server. This activity is designed to test your understanding of and ability to apply content examples in the following CompTIA Security Plus objective. So we have an incident. Utilize appropriate data resources to support an investigation. So we've been hacked, and now we're trying to figure out what happened. So configure LX1 virtual machine. Okay. Again, if you see this password, bad password. Very bad. Don't do. Do not do. A CentOS account is a non-privileged account. In the real world, you could use sudo to run root level commands. You can also use this su tech root option as you will. This activity. It's still loading. Aha! All right, so we're going to Applications, Favorites, Terminal. Sure, let's maximize. All right, and remember, Linux doesn't show your password when you type it. So you may think it's not working, but all it is doing, it's basically mirroring, and it's preventing anybody from seeing what your password is when you type it. Unless someone's shoulder surfing, but there's a space on each side of the dash character. Yep, I did that. In the Linux vernacular, the phrase get root means to use su to gain root privileges. Okay, use vim. All right. Okay. So on comment. All right. So we're gonna put in here. So the hashtag #, whatever you want to call it, is basically just saying, oh, this is a comment. When you delete that, you enable whatever was initially a comment. So what we're doing is we're enabling these two lines of code. X is to save. I think, what is it? Is it I to get out? I always forget. Hang on. Oh, no, it's WQ. Yeah. All right. So we have now edited that file. We saved the file. Ooh, wait. Ooh. Should go back there and check real quick just to make sure I didn't do it in the wrong one. I didn't realize there were multiple ones. So, yeah, no, it was UDP. Okay, so I'm okay. Okay, cool. No. Oh, I still have more to do. Why are you telling me to hit X? Okay, save. Okay, use the down arrow key. So just before global directives. There we go. Gotta hit I to start putting this in. Um, I think it's just okay. So those. Okay, I got it. I was trying to figure out what commands they wanted me to put on 3 separate lines. So it looks like that is legit the first line, and then those other 2 ones, dynamic file, this one, and this one are going to be on a separate line. I think that's how that works. We'll see. Let's see if it works. Oh, and everything is case sensitive in Linux, so you will get beat if you put in the wrong thing. Bases to where the freak is it? Toga. Oh, yeah, I hardly ever use that one. It's like so. The first line defines a template format named dynamic file that creates a log name for the server's host name. In this scenario, it will generate a log file named Kali.log that originates from the Kali Linux server. The line wildcard.wildcard dynamic file states that all RSys logs, facilities, services, and applications of all severities, alert levels will be sent via the template line and until it stops any process from matching after that point. And look, they show you it. Finally. Okay. And the reason why you want to escape first is so that you don't type WQ and it goes into the code. Let's see. It should exist. Just did it. Just saved it. Oh my gosh, how long does it take to confirm this? It's there, bro. Thank you. Oh, frick. All right, so run the following command to restart the rsyslog service. Okay. So I'm changing up the firewalls. Let's see what we got. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. Outputs of the firewall tech command tech list all should contain a blind ports that displays 514 UDP. Oh. All right. Come on, computer, you can do this. So this is all a virtual machine that I'm doing this on, right? I don't know if you guys have looked into virtual machines, but basically what it is it's an operating system within an operating system. My professor recommended VirtualBox by Oracle, and basically it's free. You want to make sure you update them regularly, but you can have multiple systems. So here we've got Kali, which is Linux based, and then we've got Metasploit, which is basically just a server. Well, not a server, not even a server. It's just a fake OS to log into. So if I click here, right, it's Ubuntu based server, and you just kind of like hack into it. So it's how you can practice your hacking. Also, there is a place called hackthebox.eu. I would recommend going there if you want to practice your hacking skills. It's free membership, and basically what you do is you can pick whatever type of server or computer to hack into, and it's really good. So I feel like if you're going to hack, you should do it ethically, and there is plenty of ways to do it, and I'm just trying to give you guys places where you can practice. They will give you the ability to uh, have steps there to figure out how to hack. So and it's free. So why not take advantage of it, right? And you can be an awesome hacker, but doing it ethically, right? That's the whole point of this. Anyways, did you score that? Okay, good. Took long enough. So we're going to forward log files from Kali. In this task, you will configure the Kali Linux virtual machine to forward its log files to the LX1 VM. Just edit the. Oh god, what? Oh man, sorry. Windows operating systems do not natively use rsyslog to manage log files. You can add utilities to Windows to enable the OS to use rsyslog. So we got to open a terminal. So there is 2 ways you can right click. There's probably 3 ways. You can click here, and then I think you can do Control-Alt-T on here. It should work. Ah! Whoa! 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 Terminals. I only hit you once. Wasn't that cool? Talk about a freaking out virtual machine. Holy crap. I hit you once. Anyways. Oh, they want me to open the file. Let's do that. Oh, wait. I got a Vim into it. My bad. Okay. Uncommented rules. Okay. Section. Okay, so I'm in rules section. Add the following line before any other lines. Oh, that's why. Oops. I was like, hey, you need to hit the I. Oh, it's not 10. I'm so used to typing in that. Ugh. All right, there we go. All right, hit escape. Save and quit. Okay, I think it did it. Oh, crap. So it looks like it worked. I got a Kali log right there. Oh, man. So I found within the file test from Cali. So basically I just made it so my Ubuntu server could send a log to my Kali OS. Kali OS can send a opposite. I sent a message from my Kali. Ooh, I forgot about this. Yeah, that is a thing. Well, guys, I forgot, but I have a meeting. I am going to have to get off of here real quick. I'll try and get back on when I can, obviously. So the RT1 local BIOS router used in the lab environment is also Linux-based. You could repeat the above process to cause the router to forward its log files to the LX1 VM. Doing so from all the Linux, Unix, and macOS devices in your environment could provide you with centralized logging for more efficient monitoring, archiving, and auditing. So cool. So we'll get into this part of the lab next when I get back up. But yeah, I've got a meeting to attend. So I am going to skedaddle from here. I hope you guys learned something, and remember, stuff is for your benefit, hopefully, and for mine. I'm trying to learn all this stuff. So hope you have a great rest of your day.